Hi, everyone. My name is Scarlette Bustos, and I'm with a nonprofit called The Ring of Democracy. And we are here interviewing candidates today just to make sure that the voters know who it is they're voting for. We are a nonpartisan nonprofit, meaning we're just inviting all of the candidates and all of their opponents. We're going to have educational conversations so that you, the public, can decide for yourselves who you want to vote for. So today we have with us Jay Martinez. Hi, Jay. How are you doing today?
Very good, Scarlette. How are you?
Good. So Jay, you are running for Sacramento City Unified School District, is that right?
Correct. Yes, Area 4.
Area 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're native, like from the area, is that right?
Yes.
So born and raised?
Born and raised here, yes. My parents moved here when I was 2 years old here, just down on T Street and 61st here, so literally down the street.
Awesome.
Grew up here since 1989, so about 5 decades now, but somehow I'm still in my 30s. I don't get it, but it's true. So.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. I'm sorry, this is the first time I'm meeting you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for asking, and also thanks for you and Access Sacramento for informing voters on, who's out there and who they'd like to vote for. So yeah, as far as myself, as I said, grew up here in the area. The Sac City Unified School District means a great deal to me, and it's meant a great deal to me my whole life, really. I grew up, even though it was here in Tahoe Park, there were certain times where, actually most of my life grew up socioeconomically disadvantaged. I've experienced housing shortage or housing insecurities, food insecurities, even PG&E and utilities insecurities. Thanks for bringing that word out. And so through that, the Sac City Unified School District and the teachers at that time really had a big impact in my life, and I was able to really beat poverty. I went on to college, became the first person in my family to graduate college, and I became a small business owner. And I want to see a better Sac City Unified School District.
Well, that's really great.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to hear, especially that you grew up in the area, the area, you know the schools.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if there's something on the city council that you feel like is lacking.
On the city council?
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
On the school board. On the school board.
Yeah.
Something on the school board that you feel is lacking.
Yeah. Well, I got to give credit to where credit's due. I think a lot of them, from my perspective, do a good job. I think their heart's in the right place, many of them. I think what is possibly lacking is a failure to address special education. It's been in decline for about 8 years now, and it's just been a serious problem as to where it's going. In teachers and administration, for some reason, it's just not getting done. And again, I'd say with the current school board, they're doing a good job as far as a lot of other things, but this is a big area of opportunity I think that they could be more effective in. If I get on there, I'm going to solve the problem day one, which is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And as far as test scores also, that's something that I think needs more attention as well. And so those would be kind of my two keys as to why I want to get on board. I feel like I could be effective in that role in pushing change. There's a lot of folks in the community right now that are making headway towards this, a lot of community groups that are making the change and trying to do something about it. And so I want to join those folks. I want to reach out to them. I spoke to some today. And so that's sort of where I'm at with that.
That's very good.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you know, there's been some controversy for schools
Mm-hmm.
in general and education and censorship and things like that. What are your views on that, and how would you address it as a member of the school board?
Yeah, so, as far as censorship, I presume you're talking about maybe like the books and things of that nature. Do I have it down right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think that really I've spoken to superintendents on the matter, and really their sort of position on it is really the state really needs to work it out. And so we have so many districts within our state and so many school boards in our state. Mm-hmm. They're going to sort of start to do their own thing this way or that way. But really, at this juncture, I think it's in the ballpark of the state to really kind of take charge and lead from there.
All right. So, you were a dad during the pandemic. Was your daughter at home during the pandemic? Is that how that went?
No, she just barely sort of missed out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so I got to see what was happening, but I didn't have to live that specific, 2020 and on. So,
Right. Yeah. So, but you know about it, and you know that because of the pandemic, a lot of students are kind of falling behind in literacy and in math. What are some things that you are planning on implementing
Yes.
as far as in the school board to kind of address those issues?
So what I would like to do is I'd like to really think outside the box as far as bringing tutors and tutoring to Sac City Unified School District. And so 40% of the students are Hispanic and Latino, many of which are ESL. And so you think about that, they need help. They simply need help. And so basically what I'd like to propose is really reaching out and to, statewide folks in the legislature, even federal folks, and think about innovative ways to get grants, get money. What do we got to do to bring in more tutors? Because really that is how you get better at something, no matter what it is. In your profession, no matter what you do, you got to speak, right? You got to go to Toastmasters. You got to get better at what you're doing, whether you're talking, whether you're hammering and building a house. I'm in contracting. I got to build irrigation systems. I got to design stuff. So I got to get better. Practice, practice, practice. They say you need 10,000 hours of practice to be an expert at something. So if we can invest in tutoring, after-school tutoring, I know kids will, in fact, get better.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
You mentioned that you were in construction. So you were in construction, and I think you've mentioned, I think before the camera started rolling, that you were working on different legislature. Can you talk a little bit more about that? And
100%,
how does your construction trades background, how does that, what effect is that going to have on you as a school board member?
Great, thanks. I think that will play a huge role into it as far as working good with people. Those communication skills, the skills to think critically, and then convey yourself well. And being a small business owner, you got to be resilient. You got to be tough as nails. It's just, it's just a tough gig, and that's for all small businesses. I know a lot of small businesses in the community here who are, I'm lucky I got to know a lot better through the campaign here. And yeah, we share a lot of issues, a lot of issues, but that resiliency, that thinking on your feet, that being creative is skills that I've obtained through this to subsequently be able to help me on this board should I get elected.
You being in construction kind of reminds me of trades and trade schools and things like that. What are your views on that regarding the district, regarding specifically the school board?
Well, as far as trades, it's just been an interesting way to kind of look at things as far as trades in Sac City Unified School District. I've seen it just sort of decline. I've seen it just sort of lose interest. At Sacramento High School, we had auto shop. Within a couple of years, that was gone. I remember I took shop in middle school. Build a bird box, build it with your hands. Obviously, right? And so, but that became no more too. And so, really, I think it's continuing that way. I think just being on the smartphone and that sort of culture and just that's not really helping the situation. And I think a lot of kids don't really want to get their hands dirty and build something and go into plumbing, right? Because it's not really sexy, so to say. They'd rather be maybe a TikTok star or something. So I think that's declining, but I do like the fact that it's being talked about a little bit more. You do hear it being talked about we need plumbers, right? And you hear on TV there's a guy who it's called Dirty Jobs, and so he's saying in the next 10 years or so, plumbers are going to be as good as paid as doctors. So that's wild. So maybe we should think about plumbers. And we also need folks to run our plumbing systems, to run our landscapes, to run our electrical lines. So I hope that conversation can continue. I'd love to be a part of a solution if they want to expand that and need someone to kind of talk about it. I'd love to talk about it. I don't really necessarily see myself kind of following in more of a blue collar type profession, but it's been very good to me, and I've been able to be impactful there. And I think it'd be a good thing if we did get the pipeline a little bit more full with folks who may be interested in the trades.
What are your priorities, would you say? Your top priorities in this?
My top priorities, number one is like I said before, I'd say the fixing of special ed. I'll get that squared out. I will get that squared out. It's been since 2017 that issue hasn't been solved. And the district was sued by the Black Parallel School Board. And I happen to agree with those folks because they did the right thing. I don't think they were happy about suing anybody. Who's really happy about that? But they had to do it in order to get their attention and say, hey, you're failing our kids. You're not following the IEPs. You're not giving them the attention they need. So this has been ongoing since, again, 2017, when folks tried to meet and try to get them to fix it, and it just still hasn't been fixed. And it kind of goes back to your point about what's wrong about the board. And so I think that's something that is an area of opportunity, so to say it nicely, I guess. So that would be a priority of mine. And I do serve on a Sac City Unified School District board currently. And so again, I'll get that done. I'll get that done day one once I'm on there. We'll put that special ed issue to rest. And then again, the bigger one, the ambitious one, is the test scores. And again, as we know, 20-year history there probably even goes back further. It's a hard one, but I think in my mind, if we can compartmentalize that and moving the needle up a little bit, in the right direction, and analyzing the last several years, and maybe getting more folks into college looking at that metric, or trades too. That would be, to me, and I think in the eyes of many, would be seen as a success. So to kind of to bring it back, I would say number one would be special ed, number two would be the test scores, and last one would be school safety for me.
So let's just bring it back to why. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I would like to know your why. Was there a moment that made you decide, I want to run? Mm-hmm. And if you could tell me about that and that inspiration.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I've been keeping an eye on the board, I guess, from afar for a couple of years. I own my home in the area, and so I genuinely care about what's happening in the district. I got, again, my kid in the district as well is 7 nephews. Seven?
7 nephews?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're all in schools too, right? And so we have conversations with my brother-in-law and all our family about what's happening in the schools. And so by and large, I like what I see, but then again, we have some of my nephews going into high school. What's next and what's happening there? And so genuinely, I care about what's happening in the schools. And again, it's near and dear to my heart. I went there K through 12, and I have a vested interest in wanting to see it succeed. I just don't want to stand on the sidelines. So basically, I would say if there was a moment to decide to run, it was when I determined that the incumbent was no longer going to run. And so I decided, well, hey, this isn't, as far as I'm concerned, it's an open job now. There's going to be, of course, endorsements, XYZ, of who's endorsing who and things like that. But I think it's for the people to decide who they want their school board member to be. I think first and foremost, this person needs to work for the kids in their area, and the parents in their area, and the community at large in their area. I think they need to come first, and then the district as well. And so that's sort of the pecking order of how I see it.
So why do you believe that you're the most qualified person for this position?
I think I have an intriguing story. Again, I grew up, in poverty. And what was the word you used earlier? Insecure, housing insecure. I had housing insecurity. I had food insecurity. My mother had to go to the food pantry, I know what it's like for Mr. PG&E to come to your house and shut off your power. I do. I just know these things, and I experienced it here in this area. But really, I would like to just show kids and folks in the community that, it's certainly possible to work your way out of that. Graduate high school, go on to graduate college, and start a business. I think the American dream is alive. I'd like to be able to show that, and I'll help anybody who wants to learn that. And so I think that's a big driver of mine. And again, kind of coming back to the community. I'm not moving. I'm staying here. I've owned my home here, and I want to see it better. And I'm just not going to no longer stand on the sidelines.
Good. So if people have more questions as to how to get more information about you, how would they do
Yeah.
that?
So I have a website, electjmartinez.com. And so I'm kind of periodically posting blogs on just sort of what we're doing and sort of what my positions are as far as my solutions. So you can go to my website and see these solutions. So go into the blog section, you'll see what I want to do and what my solutions are here. And I hope that's meaningful and impactful to people who want to vote. And then Facebook, you can find me there. I'm posting a little bit of videos on these bond measures we have coming up. J Martinez, facebook.com/jmartinez916. So you can find me there. And again, just I'm kind of an open book. I'm happy to answer any questions. And if you want to reach out to me there, again, happy to be of help, be of service. I'm going to be here and serve on these committees in the community, whether I lose or win. And I'm looking forward to being of service, being of help, and hoping that the folks will vote for me. But again, I believe in the democratic process, and we'll see how things pan out, and we'll take it from there.
Great. Well, we'll let the voters decide. This has been Jay Martinez, and he is running for Sacramento City Unified School District. And now we have your information as to where to find more information on you. If you, as a voter, are looking for more information, more videos, to see more candidates, you can go to www.theringofdemocracy.org, and we will make sure to post more videos as to the different candidate statements. All right, and once again, I'm Scarlette Bustos. We're with the Ring of Democracy, and we want to thank you, Jay Martinez, for having this conversation with us.
Thank you for having me, Scarlett. Appreciate it.